I have a bone to pick with a few people. Granted, it's taken me a few days to actually watch it, but I've just finished watching Victory Road. And I know everybody's going absolutely skits over this and dishing the crap out of TNA. If you don't want to hear reason, by all means, stop the video, walk away. Fair enough. But I just want to bring something up. Loads of people are calling this the worst pay-per-view ever. I really don't think it is. The first match was Tommy Dreamer versus Bully Ray. Maybe a 2.5 star match. It was okay to good. I don't expect a lot from Tommy Dreamer and Bully Ray, and they produced a watchable match, which was quite entertaining. Fair enough. The second match was the Knockouts. Again, I don't expect the Knockouts to be the most technical extravaganza in the world. It's the Knockouts after all. Another 2.5 star match. Fair enough. Hernandez versus Morgan. Didn't like the ending, I admit. I probably took about a quarter of a star off it because of the ending. But even still, solid 3-star match. There was nothing bad about it. Yeah, the ending was a bit meh. But at least it was different. It was interesting. It reinforced Hernandez's heel, building up of his heel persona. And I love Hernandez, so it's all good by me. After that, we had Ultimate X, which was very good Ultimate X. Sort of 3.25 stars. Then we had the tag match, Beer Money versus Inking, was a good match. Good to very good match. So you've got another 3.5 star match there. And then we had AJ Styles versus Matt Hardy, which was a 4-star match. Absolutely, really enjoyed it. Was really into it. It was really nice seeing Matt Hardy back on a decent level, and AJ was just brilliant. I was bouncing up and down and cheering AJ, and it was really good fun. I really enjoyed that match. And yes, the main event was non-existent. Nobody's going to argue that. Nobody's going to argue the fact that the main event was bad. But it was one bad match on a good to very good card. There was more very good on this card than there was dud. Yes, absolutely. The last match was a dud. It was completely pointless. They fucked up. Oh, and actually I forgot to mention RVD and Anderson. Was another good 3-star match. Easily. Maybe 3.25, somewhere around there. Really enjoyed it. Again, not fabulous on the ending, but if they wanted it open-ended, fair enough. I think maybe what they should have done was given them another 10 minutes if they knew that Jeff really was not in a fit state to be on the card. They should have probably given Anderson and RVD another 10 minutes to go at it, just so the crowd didn't feel quite so robbed. But genuinely, the whole card, it wasn't bad up until the main event. And there were loads of people turning around and saying, "Oh, this is the worst pay-per-view ever!" It's like, seriously, guys? Really? Over the Limit was worse than that. Honestly, the matches were not bad. Yes, the ending was wank. Yes, the main event should have been completely removed from the card. Absolutely. I'm not arguing with you. What I'm saying is that one bad match does not mean the entire pay-per-view is wank. I mean, Bret Hart versus Vince at WrestleMania 26 was horrible and went on way too long and was just, ugh. And the tag match at the start of WrestleMania 26 was like 5 minutes and then overdone, complete waste of time. So both of those matches don't actually qualify for any real sort of star rating. So does that mean that the whole of WrestleMania 26 is wank? WrestleMania 20, Brock versus Goldberg, quite possibly the most boring 15 minutes of my entire life, which I can never get back. I am so glad they didn't let Jeff Hardy attempt to do the match, so we didn't have to watch 10 minutes of utter wank. They realised it was a no-go, they cut it off, and they walked away, which, to be fair, I give them the credit for doing. Yes, it was a bad situation. Yes, it shouldn't have happened. But at the same time, if you're in a situation where a wrestler can't wrestle, you either cancel the match or you do what you can with it. They decided to make it a quick win, which probably wasn't the best thing. If they'd have just announced earlier on that it had been cancelled and given more time to Rob Van Dam and Mr. Anderson, I think the crowd would have accepted that better, in my opinion. But honestly, the people who are walking around saying this is the worst pay-per-view ever, go back and watch some pay-per-views, because there is what? Beer Money vs. Inking was a good match. Morgan vs. Hernandez was a good match. My brain's going. Oh, the Ultimate X was a good match. Matt vs. AJ was a very, very, very good to great match in my opinion. So that's 4 at least good matches on the card. And the other matches, apart from the main event, weren't great, but they weren't bad matches. So, considering like some of the cards, looking back, look back at some of the WCW pay-per-views where there were more 1-star matches on the card than there were matches that were worth watching. That's a bad pay-per-view. I mean, seriously, guys, get some perspective. Yes, they fucked up with the whole Jeff Hardy thing. It shouldn't have been on the card. They shouldn't have let him walk out at all, because he obviously wasn't fit to be in the ring. Fair enough. Fair enough, they fucked up. But you can't judge the entire card on one match that was a fuck-up, on one match that didn't go perfectly. Do you know what I mean? They did what they could with it. And yes, it wasn't good, but the rest of the pay-per-view was a good pay-per-view. If they'd have taken that last match off and just had the rest of the pay-per-view, I would have given it easily 7 stars. 7 out of 10. So, okay, with the main event, you've maybe got to knock one off and give it a 6 out of 10, because the main event was goddamn awful. And it was. I mean, even if you knock 2 off, it's 5 out of 10. I've seen pay-per-views that are way worse than that, honestly. As far as I'm concerned, fair enough. If you wanna say that one match means the entire pay-per-view is crap, then go back and watch some of the pay-per-views. Because if you are gonna judge every pay-per-view by having one extremely bad match on the card, then seriously go back and look, because there are a hell of a lot of pay-per-views that have had one match on the card that was wank. Honestly, I know that it's really easy to jump on the TNA wank bandwagon, but think about what you're saying before it comes out of your mouth, people. Because if you're gonna judge an entire pay-per-view by one match, you've got to judge every single pay-per-view the same way. Just saying.